Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are off to a great start today. I just got my workout in and I was gonna go freshen up for you, but then I changed my mind. So you get sweaty Jackie this morning. Hey guys. So I started a series last week on those pipeline activities for succeeding in this business, and it's the acronym PIPES, and we talked about the first P, which stands for prepare, and this morning we're talking about I, which stands for inviting. Good morning. So if you're brand new to my scopes, my name is Jackie Ritz. I'm a Blue Diamond here in doTERRA, and I love popping onto Periscope and sharing just some coaching tips, some business tips, some life tips, just things that I've learned as I have, grown my doTERRA business. Hey, Erin, good to see you on here. So before I get started into talking more about inviting, I want to talk with you guys about those two habits that if you learn and train your body to have them, you are going to succeed hands down. And I'm not just talking about in this business. And as I was working out on my bike this morning, I can't wait to see you at Starfish either. As I was working out on my bike this morning, I was just thinking about these two things, these two habits. And the first one is just the half of the battle is actually just showing up. So just showing up for your workouts, showing up in your eating habits, showing up for your family, showing up in your being a mom and hanging out with your kids, and also just showing up in this business. So just being there and showing up is going to be 50% of the work, all right? And then I believe the next 25% of the work is actually being consistent. And then the next 25 of that would be the skill sets and the mindsets that's involved in it. So show up, be consistent, and repeat over and over again. And you guys will see that this business is not as hard as a lot of people conjure it up in their head. So let's kind of move into talking about inviting. We talked about preparing in the last scope. And if you haven't seen that scope, you can rewatch it by going through my Periscope recordings. But inviting is a very important part and one of the most important parts of this doTERRA business. If you are not inviting people to your class to learn more about oils, to try a sample, then your business isn't going to go anywhere. So a lot of times people are trying to work this business so many different ways that they forget exactly this most important part of the process because they're too scared or they're traumatized by fear of what somebody's going to say to them that they don't even invite. An invitation can change somebody's life. That's why all of us are here. Somebody at some point in our walk of life invited us to learn more about essential oils, correct? I mean, you wouldn't be here watching my Periscope on inviting and essential oils and growing your business if that wasn't the case. So somebody took that big, bold step and invited you to learn more about essential oils. And that is why you're here today. And that one decision that somebody made and that step that somebody made changed your life. So how can we not do the same thing for somebody else? And so that's the mindset and mentality that you have to have in this business. You have to realize that somebody needs this. Somebody needs natural forms of healthcare and natural solutions in their life, and it's going to change them. And you could be the one to change their life. All right, so one of my favorite things is these questions, and if you guys have a pen and paper, you're more than welcome to write them down, but these are the questions that I use when I'm inviting somebody to learn more about essential oils, all right? Or if I'm inviting somebody to a class, if I'm inviting somebody to try a sample, this is the language that I use. Now, first of all, I want to tell you, you are going to succeed quicker in this business if you always have a future class on your schedule, all right? Because as you meet people, as you give samples to people, as you talk to people, you want to have something to invite them to. If you don't, then you're going to have to work out a time to meet with them one-on-one. That's just an extra step. So it's always easier to always have something on the books in the future, always. And if you could have 2 different options, even better. So if you always have 2 classes scheduled in the future that you can tell these people that you're talking to about, then they're going to have 2 options to choose from. So if one, you're eliminating the excuse of them saying, no, I'm not available that night. Well, you're not. Well, here, I have another date on Saturday. Okay, so try to always have 2 classes in the future on your schedule that you can invite them to. Now, as you are walking through these different doors, so I believe in, doTERRA, there's 3 different doors of openness, and the first door is just seeking that openness, just seeing, are they open? So as I'm talking to somebody, I love asking them about themselves. I love asking, well, what do you do? Do you have any kids? Are you married? That actually helps me out a lot, because if they don't have kids, then I'm not going to relate my life with kids to them. If they are, exercising and working out, then I'm going to talk to them a lot about oils that can help them, after they work out. If they're stay-at-home moms, then I can relate my life as a stay-at-home mom to them. If they are in the corporate world and they have a desk job and they sit at their desk all day, I can kind of figure out some of those problems and issues that they might have, not just physically, but also the financial freedom of owning your own job. So that would be somebody I would absolutely invite to learn more about the business. So as I'm talking to somebody, as I am getting to know them, I will, usually what I do comes up. So they'll ask me, well, what do you do? And it's always after I ask what they do. So I'm always asking, well, what do you do? Do you have kids? What does your husband do? What do you like to do for fun? And that usually brings on the question, well, what do you do? And then I'll say, well, I'm a wellness educator and I travel around the world and I share about essential oils. And then they'll usually say something, well, I've heard about essential oils. And then I'll say, first question, oh, well, are you open to natural forms of healthcare? And then they'll usually answer and say, well, I've tried a few things in the past. And then I'll say, question number 2, well, what do you know about essential oils? And then I'll wait for them to answer. And sometimes this is a time for me to clarify any of those very common objections that come up. And it's usually around this time. All right, so I'll be ready to talk about, some of those common objections that people might say when we start talking and we move into this question. They might say, well, I've tried some oils from the store. Somebody gave me lavender for Christmas 2 years ago and I still have the bottle. And then I'll say, well, you know what? I'm having a class this Saturday and would you like to come and learn more about essential oils? 3 questions. That's it. I'm done. All right. So first question, are you open to natural forms of healthcare? Question number 2. And after you ask that question, you got to be quiet. All right. You don't talk. You listen and you listen for what they say. Question number 2. What do you know about essential oils? Okay. Listen, answer if they have objections that you need to answer to. Question number 3. I'm having a class on this day. Would you like to come and learn more? Oh, I'm not available on that day, but I would love to learn more. Oh, great. I have a class next Saturday too. See why 2 classes on the schedule is really important? If by chance you do not have a class on the schedule, then offer to meet with them one-on-one. And now here's the biggest thing about meeting one-on-one, guys, is go to them. All right. I have a lot of people, I've heard the common excuse of nobody's coming over to my house. Nobody's coming to my class. Nobody's doing this. Go to them. Go to where they're at. If they are working full-time and they can't come to a weeknight class, ask them, can I take you out for lunch? And you get a lunch break. Let's go out to lunch somewhere close to your work and we'll chit-chat about essential oils. So these are some of the very 3 questions that I like to use as I'm inviting somebody to learn more about essential oils. Now, when you are inviting, there are tips for making your invitations more effective, and I want to give you guys those tips that are going to make your invitations more effective. Number one, invite in person. Do not blast out a mass email or a mass Facebook message or a mass text message. Invite one-on-one in person is the best way to do it. People are more likely to say yes to you if they don't have to hide behind the computer, if they don't have to hide behind a text message or a Facebook message. So asking in person is going to draw out that yes even better, all right? Number two is be energetic and share your excitement. Don't just say, well, yeah, I'm having a class and, you can come if you want. No. You be energetic, show your excitement. Essential oils have changed my life. I'd love to show you how, and I'd love to talk with you more about how they've made drastic health improvements in my life, okay? Number three. Okay, like I said, offer two options. Let them pick the one that works. Number four, get a clear commitment. Number five, get permission to remind them. Okay, so get a clear commitment. If they say yes to you that they can come, then you're going to say, if you're like me, it's easy to forget these things. Is it okay if I send you a text a few days beforehand? And they're going to say yes, okay? And if you say that, you better do it. Remind them to come. So what I like to do is I like to call everyone that I've invited 48 hours prior to my class, and I like to remind them to come. Because I call them, I'm able to really just share the excitement. They can hear my voice. It's harder for them to say no. It's just a reminder, and it kind of is another step in getting their commitment to come. All right. And then I always text 2 to 4 hours prior to my presentation. And when I send this text message, I usually say, feel free to park in the arena. All right. That's what I say because we have a horse arena. I say, feel free to park in the horse arena and bring a friend to get a free gift. All right. So, and then I just say, and then usually they'll say, I can't wait to see you. All right. So it's super, super easy. I did a class this past Saturday and I had 100% enrollment rate. I only had 2 people come, but it was 100%. So I'd rather have 2 people come, get 100% enrollment rate than 5 people come and nobody enrolls. All right. So I know that I'm doing those right steps that lead up to them coming. All right. The buying, all of that buying atmosphere, you create that before you even teach your class. They've pretty much already made the decision before you start presenting the class whether or not they're going to buy essential oils or not. Or they've left that door open. Maybe they haven't made the decision, but they've let that door open and you've walked through it with them during the class. So people are more likely to buy a starter kit or get a wholesale membership or just buy oils from you if you've given them an experience beforehand. So that's why sample, sample, sample. All right. And if you sample, follow up. Don't just give them a sample and give them your card. That's not going to work. I think out of everyone I've done that to, and it is in the hundreds, 2 people have called me. All right. So that is like a 1% success rate, 2% success rate. That's terrible. You have to get their number. So what I like to do, where's my phone? It's over on my bike. Okay, I like to say, I'm going to give you a sample of Balance. And can you put your phone number in right here? And I want to make sure that this is working for you. All right, they're going to put their phone number in unless I have completely scared the junk out of them in some form or fashion, which I usually don't do. So if I'm coming off as being a salesy, I just want to get a sale, I want to close this, I want to get money, they're going to say no to me. But if I bare my heart and I tell them this Balance is really going to be great for your child who just is uncontrollable. I love putting this down the back of my child's spine. And so what I'll do is I'll take my bottle of Balance, all right, and I'll put a drop in my hand. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take a drop of your olive oil. Everyone has olive oil. Rub it in your hands and then just rub it down their spine. All right, and the oils in this are very calming, very relaxing, and you're going to see very positive changes in your child's behavior. So please put your number in right here. Hand my phone. And is it okay if I send you a text in a couple days just to see how the balance is working? That's it. All right, that's how you sample somebody. That's how you follow up. And then what happens after that is you invite them to your next class. So the invitation process is step by step. It's very simple. 3 questions. All right, let me sum it up for you guys. Number 1, engage in conversation with them. Ask the first big question: are you open to natural forms of healthcare? Listen. Number 2, well, what do you know about essential oils? Listen. Number 3, I'm having a class on whatever day. Would you like to come to my class? That's it. All right. So good question. What I usually do is I have my notes app open. I also have a follow-up app that I use from Share Success Pro. And so sometimes I'll enter it in there, but a lot of the times I'll just have my notes opened and I'll just ask them to put their number on there. When I walk away, and when they can't see me, I go into my notes and I say, redheaded lady I met at Ingles, had a great smile, needed essential oils for her crazy kids. That's kind of what I'll do. I need to remember, because I give away so many samples, I need to remember who I'm giving what to. And I want to, when I follow up with them, I want to make sure that I ask specifically what that sample is helping them for. This is why it's very important to carry your samples around. I don't want to invite somebody to a class without giving them a sample. And it's very rare that that happens. Sometimes I'll leave with just my little clutch with my phone, no samples. And I swear to you guys, it's always that day that I meet somebody who needs a sample. So I love making sure that I got my big tote with me. Maybe I'll leave it in the car, but I always want to have my samples within reach so that if I'm inviting somebody to a class, my goal is for them to have an oil experience before they come to my class, all right? Because it's more likely, 1, for them to come, more likely, number 2, for them to actually be empowered to buy their own essential oils and stop getting them from me. So those are pretty much my tips for inviting. I hope that that was helpful for you guys. Also, as you are inviting, so I usually use doTERRA's, if you go into the back office, you can get a pamphlet that says Share doTERRA or Share in doTERRA Naturally. I carry samples of pretty much every single oil, and I don't have it right here. And so what I do is I have sample size roll-on bottles, and they're amazing. They're my favorite because I can dilute them with the coconut oil. I don't have to tell them to go home and dilute. It's ready for them to go. It's diluted for even, babies and children. So I know that if I give them a sample, that they can use it on anyone. So I carry pretty much everything, I would say the top 50 most used oils. And I carry it in a big sample. Let me show you. So I carry, this one's empty, but this is the size I carry around. And the sample vials that I carry are little roll-on bottles. And they go right in here. And so I carry like 2 or 3 of lemon, lavender, peppermint, breathe, on guard, balance, serenity. Those are the most common ones. So I carry about 2 of those. If I give them away, I go restock my little portfolio. And that's usually what I do. So I put about 5 to 8 drops in the sample vial, and then I fill it up with my fractionated coconut oil. It's a tiny, cute, adorable little roll-on bottle that I can tell them how to use it right away. The reason why I do that is because the little portfolio is from Aroma Tools. I can't remember where I got the roll-on bottles. I don't remember where I got them, but they're not from Aroma Tools. I'll have to figure out. And so the reason why I do that is because most commonly when you're giving somebody essential oils to use for the first time, I personally, I want them to use it topically, all right? I'm not usually telling them to take back a drop or to put it undiluted on their body. I usually am telling them to use it topically, and instead I don't want them to go, you know what, I couldn't get the oil out of the bottle. I mean, how many of us have that problem? I didn't have any olive oil, so I have it ready. All I have to do is take the lid off, rub it on where I tell them to, and it's set to go. That might be it. I know you can get roll-on bottles from Oil Life, but these are like the really tiny sample roll-on bottles, and I'm pretty sure I didn't get them from Oil Life. I will try to figure out where I got them as I'm talking though. Let me see. So, that's pretty much how I do it. Always have your samples with you. Always have a future class on the, I don't think it was share oils, no. I wish I could figure out where I got them from. I'm so sorry. No, that's not it. I can't remember. Wait a second. It might be... No, that's not it. It might be your bottle store. I'm looking right now. It looks like I bought something back in November from them, and that might actually be where I got them from. But I'm sure Amazon has them, and they're just sample roll-on bottles. So if you Google sample roll-on bottles, I'm pretty sure you'll find something. It wasn't Everyday Oil Essential. I know that. You guys are so awesome. My brain is not pulling up where I got it from, and I'm so sorry. It actually might be your bottle store. Okay, it might actually be your bottle store. So, oh, that's what I said, like on a last call, right? Like a few scopes ago. So, all right, your bottle store. Jessica, thank you so much. You have an amazing memory, and I am jealous because my memory is not as good as yours. So thank you. So your bottle store has the little, so get the smallest ones. You don't need like big roll-on bottles. Get the little ones, and I just put about 5 to 8 drops in it. And the reason why I say 5 to 8, if it's Balance, or if it's, what else? Whisper. I carry Whisper because I wear Whisper, and everyone asks about it, so I want to have that sample on hand. So if it's Balance, if it's Whisper, if it's another one that already has fractionated coconut oil in the blend, I'll do 8 drops, just because it's more diluted already. So I usually do about 8 drops of those, like Balance and Whisper, that already have the coconut oil in it. But if it doesn't, I'll do about 5 drops. And then I just top it off with fractionated coconut oil. And they have a lot of use out of that. So I find that that is actually more beneficial to them because they use it right away. And I mean, they can use it like right then after I walk away. I usually see them take it and put it on them, and when I'm walking away, or I'll tell them right then. I'll be like, all right, here, let's try it. You know, let's put it on your wrist. Let's put it on the back of your neck. Let's put it over your solar plexus or your belly if it's DigestZen. And I'll show them right then and there how to do it. So that's it for inviting. So pipes, we just got finished with I for inviting. And tomorrow we will talk about presenting. So I'll give you my tips for presenting an essential oil class and helping it be very powerful and successful for you guys. So that's it. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone. And remember, the 2 most important habits that you can have for succeeding in this business is showing up and being consistent. All right. The rest of it is skill sets that you can learn and teach yourself. But show up, be consistent, and don't quit. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys on the next scope. Bye-bye.